Mind Matters Initiative presents.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever this video is finding you. I want to take this opportunity to welcome each and every one of you uh, for setting time aside to come and view this informative video about our mental health. Now, on behalf of Mind Matters Initiative, I'm bringing you this episode that is focusing on the different approaches that people or psychologists get to use during therapy and helping individuals who are being confronted by the different stressors in their lives in order for them to manage the stress. Now, I believe yesterday we had looked at one of the approaches, which was acceptance and commitment therapy. For those who have gotten a chance to watch the video, you can understand whatever I'm talking about. For those who are not yet to go to view the video, you can go take a look on it, get some information there, and then come back here and continue listening as we interact. Now, today's topic is dialectical behavior therapy. What do I mean by dialectical behavior therapy? I believe some of us is the first time hearing the word dialectical behavior therapy. Now, from our high schools, we from our high schools with the literature teachers, most specifically things to do with the novel writing or something to do with that, we got to hear about the word local dialect. It's just like transformation from a language directly into another language. So that word dialect is the transformation part. Now, dialect in psychology is now being used as dialectical behavior therapy. We like we are looking on transforming the behavior of the individual who is being confronted by the stress that they are having in their lives into enabling them have a given a specific behavior that might help them be able to live with the be able to perceive the stress as normal, be able to live with the stressors as something they can be in control with and not something that can overwhelm them. So once again, welcome. Straight ahead, what's dialectical behavior therapy? This is just an evidence-based approach treatment whereby it combines the cognitive behavioral techniques while adding some of the mindfulness techniques into helping clients manage their stress. Now, in the previous video, you might have come across the word mindfulness. I will not repeat it again. You can go and get to understand about mindfulness. Now, this just like acceptance and commitment therapy, dialectical behavior therapy is also guided by a set of principles that help psychologists into navigating this type of therapy. What do I mean by these principles? I can only talk about four of them. We have the most important one. The first one is the technique of mindfulness. So, about mindfulness, it is just a way of clients being in the present moment. They are not being affected by the previous mistakes that they had made, or they are not allowing themselves to be constantly worried about the future outcomes of their goals or future outcomes of the things that they might have set aside in their life. So being in the present is just allowing the client or teaching the client to be how to be fully present in their own surrounding. We have this principle of dialectical behavior therapy that talks about distress tolerance. This therapy it helps the clients be able to live in the uncomfortable environment of their stressors by by teaching them the skills of how to survive these difficult crises without making that crisis more worse than it is already is. So when they are able to tolerate the different distresses that they might have, it helps them to accept the reality that they are having. They accept it as it is and not as the way the mind wants them, or the way the mind wants the reality to be. Okay, we also have this principle of emotional regulation. What do I mean by this? This is whereby the clients are able to understand and label their emotions. When a client is being confronted by a stress about their financial status, they can be able to label the different types of emotions that they are having. These might be frustrations or constant conflict with colleagues over the workplace, or just being able to understand those emotions and labeling them as this is what is causing me to have this behavior. They can be able to understand their triggers, and therefore they are able to come up with an effective strategy on managing those triggers. Now, when they do this, they are able to do away with this stress, or they are able to be in control of their own emotions. Hence, they cannot be overwhelmed by these emotions that they are going through. Now, we have another principle that is known as interpersonal effectiveness. This one is it can be applied to everyone. It does not mean the client has to, or it does not mean an individual has to be undergoing a stress in their life. No. Also, those who feel like they are stress free, we use the word stress free, they can also use the interpersonal effectiveness into making them be able to know their mental well-being. Now, this principle of interpersonal effectiveness, it focuses on involving the skills for improving and maintaining relationships through assertive communication. What do I mean by assertive communication? This is communication whereby you, as an individual, you help the others around you be able to understand you. Express yourself, make yourself be hard enough so that all those around you and you yourself, you can be able to understand whatever is disturbing you or whatever is making you uncomfortable. How can this effective communication or assertive communication be achieved? Through techniques that we abbreviate them as Dear Man. Every letter stands for a description of how to communicate effectively or how to communicate assertively. Dear Man. Okay, the first letter D stands for describe. Describe in details. Describe fully whatever your emotions are. Describe all the hidden emotions, all the hidden feelings, all the hidden thoughts that are currently going through your mind, that are currently making you feel uncomfortable, so that the one helping you to deal with those emotions, deal with those negative thoughts, deal with those negative feelings can be able to understand better, so that you can come up with a way of setting effective goals of managing that stress or that challenge. So the next letter E, it's all about expressing. Now, after describing all your emotions and thoughts and feelings, you can express them. You know, describing is very different from expressing. Express it. You can explain how it has made you react at home, or with your friends, or with your colleagues, and so on and so on. The next letter not A, be a man. Letter A, which is the third letter, is all about being assertive. Assert your feelings and emotions. After describing them, you are able to express them, and people are able to see whatever you go through when these emotions are triggered. You can assert them by helping yourself understand more about these emotions. After asserting those emotions, the third letter is R, which means reinforce it. Reinforce those positive behaviors that, or positive thoughts and positive feelings that may you as an individual might have come up with as a result of understanding the previous negative emotions that you are having. You can reinforce the behaviors that you are supposed to put in place so that you can do away with the stress. Now, after looking at the dear, we have this abbreviation of man. I have said it is dear man. So man, letter M, it's all about mindfulness. I believe previously when we were starting, I talked about mindfulness, and also in the previous video we were talking about mindfulness. Letter A, it simply states that appear confident. You have described your feelings, you have expressed them, you have understood them, and you have also reinforced the different behaviors that the different positive behaviors that you as an individual came up with as a way of doing away with the stress that is currently overwhelming you. Now, when you are mindful and also appear confident, you are able to build a strong self-esteem. You know, this is also a factor towards you being resilient to the different stresses that you are having in your life. After appearing confident, you have letter N as the last letter in that abbreviation. Letter N, which stands for negotiate. Negotiate with this that negative emotions that you are feeling. You have understood yourself. You have described everything that is making you feel uncomfortable. You have found out the positive behaviors that you can that you came up with to deal with these stressors. Now you are practicing mindfulness and you are appearing confident. Now this gives you a sense of self-belief to a point whereby you can be able now to negotiate with the conflicts that you are having in your life. Now this is just a way of expressing, or a way of making yourself be effective interpersonally, or communicating effectively, whatever that is making you feel uncomfortable. Now, when you get to understand this approach of dialectical behavior approach, you can be able, it can help in various ways. Number one, through this assertive communication that we have talked about, you can be able to have improved coping skills. You can be able to build your resilience to different triggers of stress. It enables one to have an enhanced emotional well-being. We have healthier relationships also. Now, when all this is achieved with the client, or when all this is achieved by an individual who is not necessarily seeing a psychologist or seeking help, when this person is able to achieve these techniques on their own, they can be able to help themselves develop practical skills in managing their stress and also building resilience towards these different triggers that make them develop stress. Now, this is all about dialectical behavior therapy. Thank you once again for listening to me. Until next time, bye bye.